Been there, I see what you doing. That podcast, that's gonna be big. That's it. I seen it last night. Don't you let nobody discourage. I'll back you. I'll back you.
Hello, Faith and Fun family. Welcome back to another episode. Today, I have a very, very, very special guest with me. She's a hairstylist, a boss, capital BAWSE. I think that's how she said it. A
Okay.
boss. Hairstylist, boss, a mom, a wife, and most importantly, a child of God, the Cameron Wilson. Cam, thank you so much for joining us today. How
Thank you
are
so
you?
much for having me. I'm
No
well.
problem. That's good. That's good. So I want to talk about the hair because
Okay.
that's what you're known for,
Yeah.
and you got it. It's done today too. It's real nice.
Oh, thank you. Under this hair, I created magic.
So where did it all come from? How did it start? Were you always this hair guru or?
It's so crazy because my mama didn't know how to do hair. So I believe this passion came from her sending me to the hair salon and watching them do hair
Uh,
because every style that they would do on me, I would go home and do it on my baby dolls. So I really don't know where it came from. I'm just assuming because my mom made sure my hair was done. Um, and just going to the beauty salon and the experience. But I don't know where it came from.
so when did you realize? Okay, I can make some money with this.
Oh, so, I was in the seventh grade, and I used to always do like my friends' hair, different family members. And know I was in the eighth grade. I was going to the ninth. So in seventh grade, I had already started taking like clients,
Hmm.
and they were paying me like $40 and $50 for micros. But when I really learned that I could really make money was when I was going to high school.
Hmm.
The summer of ninth grade, so I was mouthy as a child. It was bad. And I remember my mama telling me, "Oh, you want to wear those uniforms to school since your mouth so much and you think you
Mm.
grown.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, figure it out because I'm not buying you nothing." And I'm like, mm, "Oh, okay, cool." So I had to use what I had to make money to
Yeah.
get some high school clothes because she wasn't having it. And that summer, I believe I made like $3,000 braiding hair. I was doing like $70 kinky twists, $60 micros, $30 quick
Yeah.
weaves. I was really doing what I knew to do,
Yeah.
and I made a lot of money that summer doing hair, and I bought all my back to school clothes.
Well, so what'd your mama say when she saw that you actually made the money?
Well, I'm glad you got it from somewhere. Because you weren't getting it from me. And I'm like, oh, okay, I got it, boo. So I went to that summer I was able to go to Augusta with my cousins
Mm.
to go school shopping. She couldn't tell me nothing. I thought I was it too.
So, what are some of the biggest challenges and rewards of working with high profile clients?
Oh my God. It's very rewarding for your resume.
Yeah.
Um, and just being able to see that these high profile people are really regular people. They're
Yeah.
everyday
Yeah.
people, same struggles. Literally, they're just on a big screen.
Hmm.
So just being around on a personal level and getting that experience has really been a blessing for me. Um, the biggest challenge I would say is working on set and everything is a demand, like,
Mm.
and just being able to adjust to whatever setting or whatever is going on, because if you're on set, they may tell you, oh, you got 15 minutes to put this wig on, it need to look like this, or we have an hour to complete this look. And in the middle of you doing whatever you're doing, they could easily say, yeah, no, we're going to go with another look. This is not working. So just being able to adapt to the change and the demand of what's needed. Um, And sometimes it's timing.
Mm.
Those things are challenging. So, like, if you're scheduled to work on set or do something with a high profile client, you really can't plan anything else the rest of the
Wow.
day because things happen
Yeah.
and the timing and the demand, you just have to be available.
Yeah. So do you remember the first time you did somebody that's a celebrity? Like, was it they inboxed you or?
So my first celebrity was, mm, I believe the BBOD girls. They was on Love and Hip Hop. I was working in this salon suite in Charlotte, and the lady that owned it, she was like a publicist.
Mm-hmm.
So that connection came near.
Mm.
But my first kind of like on my own was Yandy, and it's so crazy because that same lady, whose salon suites that I was working in, she got upset with me. Because she kind of wanted me to manage her place, but I wasn't in that space. I'm
Yeah.
like, if I want to own a salon, I'll own a
Right, right,
salon.
right.
So, she and I broke ties, and I was already set to work on set with Yandy, and I was scheduled to work. This is when the Bad Boys tour
Mm-hmm.
came, so I
Mm-hmm.
was supposed to do Lil Kim and all of them that was supposed to be there. But with her connection, she just kind of like, no, you'll never have this opportunity, blah blah blah. So because I cut ties with her, she tried to kind of cut me
Yeah.
off on the back end, but it was cool. So I saw Yandy coming to Charlotte,
Uh-huh.
and I emailed my portfolio and my social media account to her manager, and they liked what I had to offer and they booked me. And it was so crazy. I told a story on social media before. That same lady that said, "Oh, you'll never be able to do this," like was thinking she was cutting me off.
Yeah.
That was the same lady that opened the door for me when I went to do Yandy's hair, and her face dropped. And she was like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, I'm the stylist that was booked to do Yandy for her show tonight or her appearance tonight." Like, I mean, she literally had to sit there with a mad face because she was the publicist and she worked with them, but she had nothing to do with the booking and the management side.
Wow.
So that in that moment, I knew that God had something different for me
Mm-hmm.
planned because He literally prepared a table
It,
for me in the presence of my enemy.
yeah.
Like, she was so, I mean, she said that the whole time, and I was talking to her like nothing was wrong. How
Golly.
you been, girl? You been good? So that's literally my favorite story. Because that was literally my first encounter with just trusting God with
Mm-hmm.
what I wanted and the desires of my heart, and that door opened
Mm.
when man thought they had
Mm.
shut it. So that was a highlight of my
Yeah.
career. I'm not gonna lie. And from there, it just went up. And my husband would always tell me, the more I got booked, remember you're the star. Remember they need you,
Mm-hmm.
and without you, what they got going on tonight won't happen. So
Yeah.
stay focused. You're the star in the room. So every time I got a booking, it's like the more major the people were that I was getting booked for. And I would always tell myself, I'm the star. I'm the star. They need me. And it just kind of like take all the worries and frustration away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So how did you stay? Because I'm sure it's easy to not be humble in these environments, but how did you remain humble?
Um, I will honestly have to say, mm, God just always had me in situations
Mm,
that required me to stay humble.
that's good.
Um, it's just been different personal situations that I've encountered on the journey, and now that I'm where I am now, I look back and I say, God, I thank you for those moments, um, because it humbled me, and it kept me humble because it was easy for me to be a snobby girl or you know, but just the positions that God kept me in my personal life kept me in a humble place,
Yeah.
and it kind of helped mold my character
Yeah.
for what He had called me for.
Yeah. That's good. So I'm sure doing many hairstyles, you've done some dramatic transformations. So I'll be on TikTok and I see like people coming there looking like Don King and they leave
Mhm.
with a bust down. So
Mhm.
what's the most dramatic hair transformation you've done that you can remember?
Um. Mm. Oh God, there's so many. I'm going to say my favorite ones. I will say more so would be the ones where I get the ladies that have suffered from hair loss and they don't
Mm,
think they can achieve certain looks or certain hairstyles because of their hair situations.
mm,
So those are my favorite ones. I can't really just say which one was the most drastic. Yeah.
yeah. So with social media now and social media then, how has it changed the industry and how you promote?
Oh my God. The industry has changed tremendously. I will say that social media has always been an outlet for me, has always been my top tool
Mm-hmm.
that I use. But now it's such a fight with creating content and staying
Yeah.
in the algorithm. I will say that it has caused more strain in the industry, especially for those that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Because now if your content or your profile doesn't look a certain way, doesn't matter how talented you are,
Wow.
you're going to get overlooked. Versus when I first started with this social media journey in the beauty industry, it was just it was more so of an outlet to showcase your work, and it wasn't about the perfect lighting, the
Mm.
perfect backgrounds, the perfect sounds, the perfect everything. It was not about perfection. It was just about showing up. So now it's more so about appealing
Mm-hmm.
to to the people to fight through this
Yeah.
algorithm. So it's just a lot more work now
Yeah.
than it's ever been.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're also an owner, business owner. I think it's the Boss Boutique.
Nope.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Oh, what is it?
I closed the Boss Boutique
Really?
in 2022 and I relaunched as the Wig Cave.
You did do that. No,
I
you did do
did.
that. I remember that.
But
Okay.
guess what people don't know?
Really?
You know, are you ready? This is going to be the first time I talk about it publicly.
Not a Faith and Fun exclusive.
Ooh. So, let's say that um I walked away from all my brick and mortar
Wow.
companies I did. So the Wig Cave actually had two locations.
Oh.
Well, we had three, went down to two, um, then it went down to one, and now we are at no physical locations effective May 1st. And I'm
Wow.
super excited about it. I'm so happy. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So everything about me now will be virtual,
Mm,
online based. Um, yeah. You want to ask me something?
I do.
I see your face.
How do you? Because that I'm gonna ask some questions. So
Okay, ask.
how does that feel?
It's actually a free feeling. Um, so I've been in the beauty industry for 12 years, and I've been a high demand stylist since I entered the game.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
always have been. And I've actually owned physical locations for 9 years.
Wow.
And out of those 9 years, 8 of those years, I was my mom's caregiver
Mm,
and I was raising my sister. On top of, I've always had a staff. Always had a staff of anywhere between 7 to 15 people. So I've always been responsible for it. I've always carried the load. I just always been, I felt like tossed and turned in so many
mm,
different directions. Now that my mom has transitioned, um, And my little sister, I still care for her, but she has her own situation. I can now focus on being a mom and a wife
Yeah.
solely
Yeah.
and not wear so many hats. Um, so I'm super excited about this journey. And a lot of people, if you follow me, I've been torn between owning a salon and not owning a salon for a couple years now. I've opened, I've closed. By the grace of God, everything that I touch turns gold. And I
Mm-hmm.
know that's God Himself, you know. Um, but I will say, like, owning a salon, that was never part of my plan. That was something that people pushed on me.
Mm.
hmm And I had this thing of being a people pleaser, being
Mm.
accepted. So whatever people thought I should do, that's kind of like almost kind of like what I went with. When my only goal with doing hair was actually to be a celebrity hairstylist, my point of doing hair and going so far was actually to show my mama that I can make it on my dreams and the desires of my heart, not what you wanted. So everything else that came with it, like owning a salon, having a team, that just came. So for me, I've marked everything that I could possibly want to do in the beauty industry off of my checklist. So now it's kind of like, okay, God, it's time to walk into purpose. And
Yeah.
doing hair is not my purpose. No, that's just a gift, a talent that God
It's a function.
gave me. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a moneymaker.
Yeah. Yeah.
But through this journey, I've learned that a part of my purpose is pouring into women to help set them free.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the beauty industry kind of unlocked that door for me to establish that or be able to recognize truly what I was put here on earth to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm super excited about focusing on that. And over the years, also, I've established like online stores. So the wig store was not only just in person, but it was online as well. And I've created digital product and done online coaching and stuff over the years. And I've generated so much income, passive income, not having to be available in the present.
Mm-hmm.
So I just really want to capitalize on that
Yeah.
and just be a mom, be a wife.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's like now you're finally. It's like all of the, I wouldn't say excuses as to why you couldn't walk in your purpose are
Mhm.
kind of like, it's like God is saying that
It's
it's
here.
time.
It's
Yeah,
time.
you
It's
can't run no
time.
more.
You can't literally God like, okay, look here. Come sit down.
Yeah.
You can't run no more. No more excuses.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy because I said on social media, normally I'm used to running to hair to kind of escape the pain and whatever I'm dealing with in real life.
Mm.
But I will say, like, through my mom's death, through her transition to heaven, it has not been that way. It's like God is like, you can't run anymore. You can't hide anymore. Like, it's like He has me sitting. What felt like the wilderness is kind of making
Mm.
sense now. So it just has me sitting and being obedient in the background while He's putting the pieces
Mm-hmm.
together for the big reveal.
Yeah.
I'm super excited.
Yeah.
I am.
He's getting you to that perfected end that he talked about.
Mhm.
And it's a process, but it's gonna be like a beautiful process.
Mhm. 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 And it's so crazy because I will say that where I am now is where I desired to be. It's where my heart desired maybe like 3 years ago when I first said, okay, I'm done with this beauty industry. But it had a strong hold on me because it was my money maker, you know. And now we're in a position where my husband's like, okay, you can hang this up now and truly focus. So looking back, I can truly appreciate the journey. I can
Mm-hmm.
appreciate the highs, the lows, and everything that felt like was an attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate it a whole lot more now because I'm in a space of where I truly just wanted to be a mom. I just wanted to be there for my kids where I didn't want the demand on my days. So it's kind of like I'm living in freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna fast forward to one of
Go ahead.
your
Help yourself. Help
questions
yourself.
that I seen that you wanted to ask me. That's what success feels like to me
Wow.
now. Slow mornings, making money, while not being present. Success used to be defined differently for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I will say at one point looking back, I thought I was successful because I was making crazy money. I was literally high demand, always booked and busy. I could afford to do whatever I wanted to do. Um, and I just really thought, the nice bags, everything that social media says
Mm.
is success. That's what I thought was success. But I will say that after Cam was murdered and I had to deal with that, I kind of went through a state of depression. So a lot of things didn't matter no more. It didn't matter about how much money I had or the bag I carried or what I wore because I was depressed.
Yeah.
And I wanted peace more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to feel whole again. So in that season, I started seeking God in a different light, on a different level. And I will say, fast forward to my mom's death, which was about 2 years apart, um, I found a peace that surpasses all understanding. Um, and it's a peace that I can't describe. I know, like, currently, like, my heart is broken. My mom just passed, and she was literally my everything. But I still have peace about it. I
Mm-hmm.
still can see God. And the mornings that I'm waking up, I'm able is not okay, let me get up, get the kids together. Oh my God, boom, boom, boom. I gotta get to the salon by 8:30. I have a client. Like that demand on my life is done. Oh, I gotta get up, make sure my mom's
Yeah.
dry, make sure she's fed. Like everything. The only demand in my life right now is God and my kids and like the life that God created for me. And I feel so successful.
Yeah.
And it does not compare to any of the things that I used to measure success a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm very successful. Like God don't have to do anything else materialistic for me. He's done enough.
Mm.
I literally. So I feel like I'm more successful now than I've ever been. And I'll tell anybody, I mean, being out of work and I have an expensive life, kids, just life itself, living in the United States is expensive. And I haven't worked as much as I normally do. So financially, I'm not where I was when I was doing hair and making $3,000 and $4,000 a week. But like I said, the peace
Yeah.
and the freedom to maneuver around how I desire to maneuver around, I deem myself as successful, and
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with tangible things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also that piece you were talking about is evident because I can see it
Really?
even at your mom's homegoing celebration. It was just all the you could tell that you weren't in your own strength. It was
Mm-mm.
just, and it's almost like, and it almost kind of like it shocked you that it didn't take you as low as you thought it would take you,
Oh my God. You just gave me
because
chills.
literally, and Pastor and I were talking like a few weeks ago about some things that she was dealing with, and I had asked her because she had dealt with the death, and she said, I'm okay, it didn't take me as low as it should have. And
Mm.
It's amazing how he'll send us through these valleys and journeys, and we don't understand why. But I feel like you learned something in Cameron's death that you can take to your mom,
Mhm.
because it didn't take you out like it should have.
Mm-mm.
Because I know so many people who have lost their mama and they don't come back. And just like seeing you after, I think you came to like a conference at the church one
Mhm.
morning, and I think that morning, or maybe he was talking about enjoying the journey, and
Mhm.
it's just like, and I can see it, like your post on Facebook, like I can see it. He's doing something, and
Mhm.
it's almost like he had to take something away to put something in,
Mm.
and you'll understand it later on. But yeah, it didn't take you as low as it should have.
It's so crazy you said that because literally I wrote that in my journal the other day. Now I'm about to cry, it's tears of gratefulness because literally, so my mom had dementia,
Hmm.
so through the process, and also I'm working on an ebook, and it's called uh Grieving and Growing, and through the years, I've literally had to grieve my mom, um, not being the same person. Like
Hmm.
dementia, my mom literally left here. She didn't know who I was. She only knew that she loved me. But I remember 2 years ago when my mom got sick, I thought the Lord was going to take her then. And I'm like, oh my God, no, 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 I'm not ready for this. Like my mama, like, my mama's my mama.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like you saw Kim, you saw Cameron. Like that was me and my mama, like, since a little girl. And I remember being afraid to live in the now because I did think it was gonna take me out. I didn't think I was going to be able to function. Um, so to see me now, still smiling, being able to get up and go versus when Cam passed, I couldn't move.
Hmm.
Like what, and and if I'm like that with Cameron, someone I met throughout life and grew a
Hmm.
bond with, how would I be when my mother leave here? Like, oh, that's gonna take me out, but it didn't. And I know it's not my own strength. Like, I literally, let me tell you something so beautiful. Everybody was telling me, oh, your mom not gonna pass while you're here. She's gonna wait till you leave. I guess that's just how it goes. You walk in and find the loved one, or someone call you. It didn't happen like that. God allowed me to kiss my mom goodbye a couple of seconds before her last breath. And we didn't know that was her last breath. Literally, we did not know we was in there. And the nurse, she was like, she couldn't find a pulse really. She was like, she still has life in her. So I'll give her about a couple of hours. I'll be back to check her status. But she will be passing over today. And I was just like, okay, what can I say? What can I do? Literally 5 minutes after the nurse got those words out of her mouth, my mom kind of coughed a little and she took a deep breath. And I just went and rubbed her head. And the nurse was like, well, you know what? Just let me sit down a little bit. Let me just monitor her. Um, so I kissed her and I whispered in her ear, I said, Mom, it's okay. And as I was coming up, she coughed and took a deep breath. And the nurse looked at me and she was gone. In that moment, I saw God on another light.
Hmm.
He literally allowed me to kiss my mama goodbye. People don't get that opportunity. They don't get that opportunity. And from that day forward, I surrendered to God.
Mm-hmm.
I actually started surrendering to God the week that my mama was expected to transition because she outlived what they said a week. Um, and I remember the nurse asking, like, what is she made of? And all I could hear her ever say, I know the Lord. That's what she would always tell the doctors when they be like, I don't understand. She'd be like, I know the Lord. And in that moment, I knew the same God that my mama knew. I knew that's who had to be keeping me. Like he allowed me to kiss my mama goodbye while she was still here on earth.
Mm-hmm.
That alone, that done something for me, and that provided me more strength than I think anything. I don't know, more than anything.
Yeah.
More than anything, that moment alone gave me the strength. So I say that to say God is literally the divine orchestrator
Mm-hmm.
of life. And how I see death now, I don't technically see it as a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's us being a child of God,
Yeah.
you know. I have hope that I will see her and see her again, but to know that God allows us to go through things knowing we're going to go through things, but He already has a plan to carry us through. I find peace in it.
Yeah.
I find peace in it.
Yeah. And as you were talking, and the thing that stuck out to me was when you told her it was okay.
It was okay.
And it's almost like she was waiting on you to be okay. And when you said that, she said, okay.
Okay.
She gonna be good.
All is well. And
Yeah.
that word has been spoken since my mom passed. It is well.
Mm-hmm.
And it is well. It is well. It is well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
God is good.
God is faithful. He's faithful. He's
Yeah.
faithful.
That's good. And then just like not to get too
Oh,
personal,
you're
but
fine.
like things that have happened after her death, like things, relationships that have been mended, and it's like almost God knew what He was doing.
Absolutely. It's so crazy. So when you say relationships being mended,
Now you bringing it up.
I know. So I'm gonna walk through that door.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk through that door. It's so crazy that you said that. This is an exclusive for Faith and Fun.
Not too.
So it's so crazy because after my mom's death, my husband and I relationship was restored,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember in seasons, looking back now, I remember being in seasons where I was so frustrated with him because it just seemed like it was like a standstill or something over his life. And he was like, I don't know what I'm doing. But when I look back, God being the divine orchestrator, I look back and I look at now, God has put my husband in position to be who I need and who this family needed him to be in every season.
Mm-hmm.
My husband come from a family of love,
Mm-hmm.
a family of a family. Like that's
Yeah.
what the Wilsons are, family,
Okay.
okay? Like they are a family and they are filled with love. They going to love anybody.
Yeah.
And they're going to love you like you're theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately for me, I didn't come from that.
Yeah.
I came from a chaotic household.
Mm-hmm.
I came from abuse. I came from everything was about a hustle. Like working, the love, the family oriented stuff that kind of left our family when my grandmother passed. I was in the 5th grade. So, so I say that to say, my husband and I are a balance where I can be drowned out in work. He's still always been the one to make sure the love was in the household.
Mm-hmm.
The family oriented vibe was there. Like he was the glue
Mm-hmm.
to making sure that our children grew up on love and not mama always gone,
Yeah.
or they at this person house, that person house. And because my mom lived with us for like 8 years, my mom was able to have that experience from a household. So he was my mom's caregiver with me.
Yeah.
So we did this together. We raised my sister and, our children. And him being in the position that he was in, it allowed my children to go without the lack of
Yeah.
family love, because mom was always on go. I worked in Los Angeles, I might be in New York, I might be in Atlanta. I was always on go. My kid, this is the most my kids have seen me.
Yeah.
So like my daughter with me now, like that means everything to
Yeah.
me because I was always on go. But he was always that glue,
Yeah.
that foundation.
Yeah.
And now that the tables have turned and my mom is transitioned, and I'm home, now he is the one that's the breadwinner,
Mm-hmm.
the one that's keeping the family
Yeah.
afloat while the wife figure it out, because I don't know what God is doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So and when I look back and I be like, God, you are, ooh, you strategic. In so many seasons I was frustrated, wanting to just be like, oh yeah, nah, this ain't it. Like, and the whole time you knew what you was doing, God.
Mm.
Like, you gave me what I
Mm.
needed to sustain this journey. And not only me, you gave my kids what they needed. My
Yeah.
kids are superior kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're all honor students. They're all in the top of their class. Morgan's in the 5th grade. She's in the beta club.
Mm-hmm.
Kaya's getting ready to graduate. She's taking college courses for her senior year. She's on the principal list. She's in honor classes. Like, they are amazing kids, and I can't take credit for that alone.
Yeah.
It's like you see them. It's like after the storm and the sun comes out, you can see everything that the storm
Yeah.
was watering. Sometimes we complain about the storm and not realizing all the dry places
They needed water.
that needed water.
That was gonna die had not the storm came.
If the storm hadn't came,
Mm.
the harvest would be dried up.
Mm.
I'm trying to tell you. So I thank God for being the divine orchestrator.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I was the orchestrator of my life, I would have been made a mess.
Yeah.
I would have been made a mess.
Yeah.
I'd be not having to knock on somebody's door, tell them deliver my husband back to me, okay? Deliver my husband back. My kids could be a lost cause. Like, I just truly thank God for orchestrating and keeping his hands on me and on my life, even when I didn't see it and recognize it. I thank God for watering every dry place that I didn't even realize. My mom's, I thank God for my mom. Her illness even brought wholeness and healing to me. So she was a powerful something here on earth. I promise you she was. Yeah. So grateful for that. So grateful. And I'm grateful that he's a man of God as well. Because he stayed. It's like, he was shaking, but he didn't he didn't move off his stance.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank God for that.
I appreciate your vulnerability and how open you are, like to the public, because so many people they see the pictures and but they don't know the story. And you
Mm-mm.
like you don't care, like you like okay,
Mm-mm.
this is what I'm going through,
Yeah.
and so many people need to see that.
You know why? I realized that mm, them people in the Bible, we wouldn't have nothing to reference
Yeah,
if that story wasn't told.
yeah,
And in this day and time, in order to be a vessel for God, you have to be open and vulnerable, or else how are you going to help someone else?
mm,
How are you truly going to reach back and say, "Look, come on, God can do it"? Like
mm,
how can people be able to see God if all you see on social media the pictures me on an island somewhere or all my wins, if you don't know that there's a story, there's a storm behind every win, behind every good that you see, trust and believe I went through something to get there.
yeah,
And if I'm not willing to show the light on the storm, how will God truly be able to get the glory? How can someone else truly believe that it's possible for them if all I show is the good? Because
golly,
you could be going through a storm and you could be so talented and good at what you do, but because of the storm that's raging in your life,
mm,
you think God done forgot about you.
mm,
But see, I told God a long time ago, you helped me through whatever. I'm going to be a vessel. And
yeah,
a part of being a vessel is my transparency. I know who God has elevated me to. I know how people see me. And I want you to know
mm-hmm.
that it don't matter what you accomplish in life, how far up the ladder you go, how locked in with whoever you locked in with, you are subject to go through a storm.
Yeah,
You're subject to grief.
yeah,
In my book, I say, grief is not an option.
mm-hmm.
It's given to you. Those are the lemons
For the lemonade.
for the lemonade. And the healing is the lemonade. How sweet can it get?
Ooh, now that's
Yeah.
good right there. I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. So I'm gonna wrap up because this was good. We ain't get to none of my good questions, but this that other stuff was good to me. But look, little Cam, from Cam that you are now,
Hmm.
and what's one piece of advice that you give to little Cam, the little Cam that was getting abused with the terrible childhood, from this place that you are now? What would you tell little Cam?
I would tell her it's all going to work out
Mm,
in your favor. I would tell her that eventually that pain is going to turn into purpose,
mm,
and you're going to be grateful for every tear that you cried, every doubt that you had, every obstacle that you will face, you will overcome, and it's going to be okay. It is
yeah,
well. I will tell her it is
it
well.
is well.
It is well.
It is well. Cam, thank you so much for joining us. I really enjoyed this. I didn't think you was gonna have me this tore up. Woo! Thank you
Listen,
so much.
thank you so much for having me. I'm truly grateful.
No problem. I enjoyed it. Faith and Fun family, thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
That was really
Bobby, we gotta have
good.